So again, I guess I'm the one who's obstructing you guys between lunch. Just like what Ajahn mentioned earlier. Interesting in presentation, Ajahn, about medical cannabis. I'm also a big believer that traditional medicine, especially in Thailand, having the roots from Ayurveda from India would be the way forward, for wellness tourism. So just a bit about myself first. I'm actually not a doctor, so I'm very humble that you guys are, including me in the panelist session here. I would like to actually appreciate the organizers, but I think Kun Jackie, right, is not here with us right now. My background is actually, of various disciplines. I used to work in the airline industry for 8 or 9 years in tourism industry, and also actually my trade is from IT. So, when they talk about machine learning, AI, I feel like pretty much touched because that's what I do, right? But today, I'm here to talk about the wellness tourism and especially the way forward in Thailand. How are we planning to grow? I'm representing the Thai Travel Agents Association, and I would also like to share with you some stats. Fortunately, Ajahn Thawatchai, right? I hope I got your name correct. You talked about medical cannabis, which is somewhat, part of what I'm about to talk about here as well. But I'm happy that someone who's coming from a professional background has already mentioned it. Next slide, please. So, how we have the trends in tourism, right? Post-COVID and pre-COVID, I guess there's not much we have to compare about anymore because there's growth everywhere coming from a very, you can say, a low growth period or a period without any growth at all, right? So now we see growth in tourism, but the main focus here for us is that the key driver for the growth here we see is actually coming from wellness, where people in the tourism industry are actually more perceived about promoting this market. So perhaps today, I would probably want all the doctors and all the researchers to also appreciate that tourism plays a big role. We are already having structure which is of state of the art in Thailand. We're having hospitals which are like a hotel. When I go to Bamrungrad Hospital, I think I'm actually stepping into a hotel, a lobby. But without tourism or without entities who are in this market, it will be very difficult for you to market this product. So tourism, I guess, is the pivotal point here, pushing the industry forward, especially in wellness. Next slide, please. Now, the key number here is the 21% annual growth rate, which we are projecting, right? 21% or 20% is actually, you can look at it that it's not being a big number. But the tipping point of this number is that eventually more and more people will appreciate wellness. Now, when you travel somewhere, like for example, into a mass destination, you come back, you feel tired. Like I went to Taiwan, in March with my family. It was a rush, there was people everywhere. And it was actually supposed to be a break for me, going there for leisure, right? But coming back, I feel really tired. After 2-3 weeks, I thought that it's perhaps a better time to go for a real trip. So I went to Krabi. Krabi in Thailand is known for this wellness destination, the spa, the traditional medicine, compared to Phuket, where you have a lot of tourists coming in, mass destination. Phuket and Krabi is comparatively different. Krabi is more on the wellness side, and that was actually where I found myself to be more rested and more relaxed. With yoga, with Ayurveda, with mindful and spiritual meditation. Thailand is known for this too. So 20% or 21% is going to be growing immensely in the future. Next slide, please. So, we looked at different, you can say, value chain. We can look at different entities in this value chain. We have real estates, where later on there'll be speakers from the real estate industry talking about how real estate plays a really pivotal role, in the infrastructure of this wellness tourism. But it, of course, can add both physically and mentally wellness, right? Which many doctors have talked about in the early on session. Now, my focus would be on the fourth key point on this slide, is that Thai traditional medicine is something which is unique to Thailand, right? I mean, we can travel around the world, but you will not get Thai traditional medicine the way you have it in its origin, which is Thailand. So I agree with what Ajahn said, Now, Thai traditional medicine, for those who have not been in Thailand for many, many years, when you come back, you see that there's a big change, right? And the innovation driving us forward, definitely on my side, or you can think of it as a growth driver. What will help push the wellness tourism or the wellness market? For us, for me, as a Thai citizen, I would definitely say that Thai traditional medicine would help us drive forward, and especially the growth would be coming from medical cannabis. Next slide, please. So again, I'm really happy that I actually had to present this after Ajahn, because Ajahn already gave us all the details about the benefits, of the actual chemical breakdowns, the difference between THC and CBD. Next slide, please. So right now, I guess there's a bit of question, which people will raise. The new government will probably be stable soon, and we will come to see and we will come to know whether cannabis is going to be removed from the non-narcotic list and then being put back in the narcotic list. But we have seen the way the industry has evolved. I have seen, from day one when FDA has asked all the producers to maintain a report of the flowers, the branches, the roots, the stems, everything which has been produced from the cannabis, up until the day where they said, okay, let's decriminalize this and make it free for everyone to grow cannabis in Thailand. But there are two things which people need to be educated about. I guess the market, the public needs to know what is the difference between THC, CBD, even the difference between hemp and cannabis. There has to be some attention and awareness being raised. Next slide, please. Now, Ajahn mentioned as well that we are producing cannabis in an indoor facility in a lab. My challenge here, standing in front of you today, is how do we make sure that these products are traceable, right? You grow cannabis, and if there's a high demand, there's no way that we can actually maintain this market ourselves. We would probably move forward with contract farmers. We would then hire people to grow for us and then buy the actual product from them. Now, how do we actually make sure that once we prescribe cannabis extract, CBD oil, as a medicine, and if there are any impurities, how do we make sure we can trace that back, from seed to sale, basically, or reverse from sale to seed? So I guess what we can do, to push the market forward in Thailand is to ensure that people who are growing must have at least a GACP standard, or a Thai GACP standard, so that their facilities are well maintained. The list of things which they're using, the supplies, the nutrients, everything needs to be tracked. So I think track and trace will help elevate the cannabis industry. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now, for Thailand, I'm going to leave you with a conclusion, a very clear conclusion, that I think Thailand is going to be in the future the model, of how we move forward with medical cannabis, especially with wellness tourism coming back here again. This is going to be the pilot of many, many countries, where they look forward to Thailand being the role model of pushing medical cannabis as a global, you can say, framework or a global blueprint. So thanks for having me, and thanks for making sure that the Thai Travel Agents Association is part of your journey, pushing medical tourism, pushing wellness tourism forward. And I really appreciate that you guys have invited me today as part of the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Mr. Shivek Sachdev, Vice President of Thai Travel Agents Associations.